Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got it going. I got it going on. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. You ready? Here we go.
I don't know what this thing is. I think it's a strip show, dance show.
We're there, dude.
Welcome to
DeaconLive.
DeaconLive.
Welcome back, guys. On today's show, the twin test: one herbivore, one carnivore, and which one wins. Also, say goodbye to Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And who killed this married couple who had only been married for 1 week? And are you in the SmileDirectClub? God, I hope not. All this and much more. Welcome to Deacon Live. And for the next 60 minutes or so, we'll get you updated on the social news stories that you might have missed from the past 7 days or so. So how are you? How are things? How are things going? I hope you're doing all right. Hope you're getting along with everyone. I'm not getting along with anyone. You know, I piss someone off. I don't know. I always piss people off, and they take it personally and stuff. But before I get into that, I just want to give you an update. We were talking about my dog, Cookie Puss. Unfortunately, we lost her the Thursday after Thanksgiving, or the next Thursday after Thanksgiving. So we lost her. Yeah, she passed away in her sleep. So, we took last week off. It was kind of like unexpected as far as, all her blood work and everything came back, and the doctor said this was good, and her heart was good, and the lungs are good, and all the other ALKC1 numbers were good. But she just said, I can't stand up anymore, and bulldogs have a hard time, just standing up on their own, and she wasn't eating. So I don't know if there was a mental thing or some kind of brain thing going on with her. But I found her in the morning. She did pass away. So Cookie's no longer with us. So, I know. I'm not looking for likes or clicks or anything like that. Unlike some people that I know. And, I'm just saying that, just give you an update that we lost Cookie Puss about 2 weeks ago. So there you go. Now, one thing, as you guys know, I crawl through your social media feeds and stuff, and I'm looking for stories that I think are interesting, that might not make it to like the top level, the cream of the crop type stories that are on the news feed. And that's what makes Deacon Live. So some of the stories, when I get to them, and TMZ is famous for doing this. Now, I don't know. I still, I'm an adult, right? I understand social media. I understand how all this stuff, but I do not understand how when they say, see, what's her name? Mariah Carey. And this is what she did and all that stuff. And, for more information, link in the bio. And I go, okay, link in the bio. I don't know what that means. I'm looking for a link. Just put the link in there. Just put the link. And then I know they can't do it on Instagram, and that's where I'm finding it most of the time. And so I'm taking it verbatim of what that means. Link in bio. So I go, okay, TMZ, and I go to the top, and it's like TMZ and TMZ Internationale, which is the overseas stuff. And I'm like I'm looking in the bio. There's no link in the bio. There's no, and I look at all the different stories, and I can't find the one with Mariah Carey that she was naked running around with her hair on fire. I'm looking for that video. I'm looking for what, and I go back to the story, link in bio, and then I start going through the comments to see if someone else would post some kind of link or something where I can figure it out. I cannot figure out the link in the bio. So if you know how to fix that for me, I know it's probably just something stupid like, here you go, dummy. Click on this right here, and this is what happens. And there's your link in the bio. If you could do that, go over to Prophet Radio, proud sponsors of Deacon Live. And at the bottom of the page says, be heard. Leave a message. You can be anonymous if you want, if you're a little pussy. If you want to be anonymous, if you want, leave a message in there, and we'll play it on the very next podcast. If you get it in soon, though, maybe we'll play it on this podcast. Who knows? Stick around. You might hear yours. So if you have what the issue is, or what my issue is as far as what the link in the bio, does it drive you crazy too? It just makes me feel so dumb, because I'm like going, and it's nothing new. It's nothing that they just came out with. They've been doing it for years, and I still cannot figure out click link in the bio. I just don't get it. I'm confused. Someone please explain to old man Deacon how to find the story, because there's a lot of cool stories out there that I come across, and I'm like, oh, this would be really good to talk about on the air. And then sure enough, it goes, Trevor Noah slams his car into a homeless children's shelter and pulls out his penis and pees on a fire hydrant. Link in bio. And I'm like going, why isn't anyone talking about this? I wish I could talk about it, but I can't find the fucking story. The goddamn link in the bio. So there you go. All right, that's my problem for now. All right, guys, we got a lot to talk about, lots to get into. And you're wondering why eggs cost so much during the pandemic? Well, guess what? We are going to have the last laugh when we come back. So stick around. You'll listen to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Oh, I got to put the time down. I always forget to put the time down because I get so excited. It's 12:20, 20 on a Wednesday afternoon. Here we go. Ready? Got my little screen up there. Is that good enough? I'll put it right there. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Don't forget, for every podcast we do, we have a matching video over on YouTube as well. So if you're listening to the whole entire audio section or the audio on iHeartRadio and Spotify and iTunes and all that, we appreciate that, but there is a lot of visuals that go on here during the broadcast, and a lot of articles with videos and pictures and stuff, and you can see those in real time as we're talking about them here on the air. Just go over to YouTube, search Deacon Live Podcast, make sure you subscribe over there. It's not a money grab, believe me, I get my money somewhere else. It's just another media avenue for you to enjoy the Deacon Live Podcast. And while you're over at ProphetRadio.com, that's Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio.com, get yourself something for free. Proud sponsors of Deacon Live and all the other fine broadcasting that comes out of the Prophet Radio studios here. Now, we have chickens on our property. We broadcast just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. We sit on about 22 some odd acres because we have horses, we have cattle, we have chickens, we don't have dogs anymore, unfortunately. Cookie passed away. She was the last dog that we have. And just on a side note, my wife said to me after Cookie passed away, she's like, you know what? This is weird and morbid at the same time. And I said, well, what is it? We're driving around. She's like, I'm thinking to myself, this is a couple days later. I'm thinking to myself, oh boy, here we go. She goes, this is the first time in 22 years that I have not had a dog. In 22 years. Well, my wife's a young lady. So since she was 20 years old, she's always had a dog in one shape or form. And she ran down the list of all the different dogs that she had growing up. And then me, this is my... Well, with my wife, with her, this will only be my fourth dog I've ever had. And there's been some times and spaces in between where I didn't have dogs, but I was also working in a field where I couldn't have animals at the house waiting for me, going from, the radio station to a nightclub to another nightclub to a live event type deal. I didn't have anyone that I needed to tie me to the house. So I never had dogs until I got into a serious relationship with my wife before I married her. So it was just a weird concept that she has. Now, one of the things that we do have here on the property is we do have chickens, and we have chickens for one reason only: to make millions. No, I'm kidding. We don't make millions on the chickens. We have an LLC because of the agricultural district that we live in. We live in, like I said, just outside of Charlotte, and we do it for tax purposes only. Tax purposes, so we can claim income, and we sell the eggs. Now, we don't sell them, $15, $16 a dozen. No, we only charge, $3. $3 a dozen is a fair rate for us. And people come by and they buy, 6 to 8 to 10 to 12 dozen at a time from us, and then they turn around and sell them. By all means, go make your money. We're just trying to pay the food. Keep the chickens fed with the food and scratch, and that's what it pays for. Now and then we get some lottery tickets, but that's about it. It's nothing to, quit our day job doing. But unfortunately, during the 2000s, we got bombarded, even during the whole pandemic and stuff, with the whole, they had bird flu and all this other flock diseases and stuff. And so egg prices were going up. Well, right now in Indianapolis, a federal judge or a federal jury in Illinois has ordered $17.7 million in damages and more than $53 million under the federal law for several food manufacturing companies who were sued by major companies who had sued major egg producers over the conspiracy to limit egg supply in the United States. It's kind of like diamonds. They got diamonds galore, but they only let a few out into the public. That's what makes them valuable. The jury ruled last week that the egg producers used various means to limit the domestic supply of eggs to increase the price of the products during the 2000s. The time frame conspiracy was the issue throughout the case. Jurors ultimately determined that damages occurred between 2004 and 2008. Obama, that's what you were doing, you and your stupid movies that you put on Netflix. The damages verdict was reached Friday in the Northern District of Illinois. According to the federal antitrust law, damages are automatically tripled, bringing the total to $53 million. Court documents on the verdict were not readily available Friday evening, but the statements from the manufacturer's attorney of one of the egg producers confirmed that's about a total of $17.7 million per company that's going to get it. We are extremely grateful for the jury's service in finding, Brandon Fox, an attorney representing the food manufacturer, said in a statement. This was an important case for many reasons. The jury awarded recognizes its significance. Attorney for the 4 egg suppliers named in the lawsuit did not immediately return phone messages on Friday. Court documents show the defendants have denied all claims. The egg suppliers include family companies such as former chair John Rust, who is running for U.S. Senate in Indiana. Well, not anymore. And in a written statement of the verdict, Rust said the jury's decision, it will be appealed, he says. Of course, why not? The jury found that egg suppliers exported eggs abroad to reduce the overall supply of the domestic market, as well as limiting the number of chickens throughout the means, including cage space, early slaughter, and flock reductions. Jurors were specifically told not to consider the more recent changes in egg prices during their deliberations. So there you go. They found them guilty. God damn it, you guys are guilty of doing this shit, so cut it out. Isn't that something? I mean, but they don't do that with the diamond people. Why don't they do that with the diamond, De Beers and all that? You know why? Because a lot of them have their fingers in other people's pockets, if you know what I mean. So we'll see what happens there. I know our egg prices. I had a lady just the other day who came up and bought, I think, 22 dozen from us. Old Filipino lady. And she's sitting there smoking. I mean, like old, when I say Filipino, like old Vietnamese looking lady. You know, she's like a dried up raisin forgotten on the sidewalk. And she's sitting there and she's smoking. And she's like, how many eggs you got? And I gave her like 17, 18 dozen. So she sells them in her little village, her little town that she lives at. Sells them for probably, $10 $10 a dozen. They're the one gouging her, right? Or she's gouging them. Now, unfortunately, this couple, now my wife and I have been married coming up on, oh God, I'm going to get this wrong. Coming up on 10 years, actually. Next year, this coming year, 4 months from now, we'll be married 10 years. I got married late in life. My wife, she's a career woman. I'm a career man. When our careers got to a good level playing field for everyone, we said, let's do it, Let's give this whole marriage thing a whirl. I'm kidding. It was love at first sight. Well, second sight for me, first sight for my wife. No, our first date didn't go very well, according to me. But she said I had to have you after that. So there we go. We've been married for coming up on 10 years. Now, this Florida couple right here was only married for 1 week when they were killed in a double homicide murder over the weekend. Deputies of Palm Beach, Florida, responded to a shooting Saturday morning in West Palm Beach. They found a man and a woman dead with gunshot wounds at a residence. The sheriff officer said the police say that they were talking to a person of interest. Now, don't forget, for every podcast we do, we have a matching video, and you can see all this in real time as we're talking about it here. I'm going to switch screens here so we can blow this video up and you can see this as we're talking about it here. Let me make sure we got all the volumes up and all the volumes are ready to go. So here we go. Florida man charged with killing newlyweds that have only been married for 1 week.
Just down the road from where Palm Beach County Sheriff's deputies say 2 people were gunned down Saturday morning. He says around 8 o'clock, he heard several loud bangs.
Around 8 o'clock, I heard what sounded like gunshots, but I thought people were just working on someone's roof, so I ignored it and went into the house. And then later, when I went back outside, that's when I saw all the police activity out here.
Deputies arrested Sony Josephat after he turned himself in. He's charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. The Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office says when they arrived at the scene, they found 2 adult victims, a man and a woman, who were shot and killed. The Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office is not releasing their names. WPTV spoke to a woman that says she's the sister of one of the victims. She was too shaken to speak on camera, but she did give us this photo of the alleged victims, adding that they were recently married. Neighbors like Deanne Jermill say the 2 deaths came as a shock to the community.
It's pretty quiet and we don't have like too many things over here.
Not too many things.
I don't know how this happened.
Jermill says that she didn't know the victims personally, but they were members of her church.
This is horrific. It's terrible, and I don't know how to describe this. I need to tell you, those people are from my church also, so it's heartbreaking.
Josephat remains in jail without bond. He will appear before a judge Sunday morning.
So I'll dive into the story, what actually the story led into. The couple were married for just 1 week before they were discovered dead. The woman described herself as okay, we got into that. A redacted criminal probable cause affidavit reveals the shooting was a target of a domestic violent incident. Josephat's daughter called 911 on the morning when she reported that she saw her father shoot the newlyweds. In the document states, when the deputies arrived, they found the daughter and her brother at the home where the victims were lying on the sidewalk by the front door. Josephat had not lived at the residence where the shooting took place in over a year, but randomly showed up from time to time. He had a long history of being, quote unquote, controlling, the document said. The affidavit redacted the details explicitly stating the connection between Josephat and the victims. According to the affidavit, the day of the shooting, Josephat was seen walking through the yard of the home before he approached the victims and opened fire. In an interview, Josephat told deputies, because he did turn himself in, he became overtaken with anger when he saw a surveillance camera being installed by the front door of the home. Yeah, I got this guy walking up and down the neighborhood yelling at me all the time. I'm putting a camera up. The statement continues saying he walked up to, and they redacted the person's name, and said, "Good morning." They said good morning back to him. Then shot blank in the upper torso and the head. Then he shot the other one several times. And then after they were shot, he kept unloading his Glock 17 into the bodies until they were dead. Jesus Christ. Then the West Palm Beach Sheriff's Office headquarters entered the main detention center of the courthouse and surrendered. Oh, he drove up to the courthouse and then surrendered himself. According to the court documents, Josephat didn't have a previous history of domestic violence or a restraining order with the victims. No drugs or alcohol were involved in the shooting. Man, and Jesus, can you imagine that? You've got this guy who's giving you a hard time, and so you put the sensible thing. They say that the church-going people, for most all intents and purposes, that doesn't mean anything. It just means that you're focused on one side of the aisle than the other. And, they put a camera up to protect themselves. I don't know if they were a gun-toting couple or anything like that. And then the guy comes up after seeing the camera comes up and says, "Good morning, blam, blam, blam." Now, and then they're dead and he turns himself in. Now, living out here in the middle of nowhere, we are, like I said, we're a rural country. We're a rural county, actually. Where we live at is about 2,500 people spread over, I think, 200 square miles, which is, you could walk for miles and miles and miles and not see anyone. And the weird part is when we get a knock on the front door. When I say a knock on the front door, and this just happened the other day. Normally, I look outside and we got cameras all over the place. So there's motion detection, so I get a little ding on my phone, oh, there's someone at the side door. This guy, well, when a car drives up, but if you walk up, just like off the street, walk up, it's weird because it doesn't notice you until you get exactly to the front door. That camera doesn't pick you up. I know I'm giving you all if you want to come break in the house, come on over. I'll show you how to do it. But this guy rings the doorbell a couple times. I'm like, all right, here comes someone else for eggs. I look at my phone and I see this guy in like a freezer jumpsuit. Now, of course, we live in North Carolina, so it's been 28 degrees first thing in the morning. So that's not, surprising. I open the door. I'm like, hey, can I help you, man? And he's a little skinny dude. If you've seen Breaking Bad, he looked like Skinny Pete. And he's all like tweaked out and stuff. And he's like, man, I just got, and a white guy, and he's got tattoos all over his arms and all over his neck and everything. Just like shitty tattoos, not nice tattoos, not the gourmet tattoos that you get. But he's standing out there, and his freezer suit is like 4 sizes too big for him. He's like, man, I just got dropped off on the corner, man. They just dropped me out, threw me out. And now man, can I get a ride into town? I go, man, I'm not going anywhere. I said, I'm in the middle of a conference call. I can't leave the house. I'm working right now. Man, you got a phone charger I can use? A phone charger? He's like, I can call my buddy. And I said, you better take that last battery tick and call someone that you know to come pick you up. All right, Dan. All right. Thanks anyways. I'm like, good luck, and shut the door. And I watch him because normally, and this has happened before, because sometimes you get miscreants that walk up and down. There's no foot traffic in this neighborhood. So if you're walking down the street, someone has either dropped you off or you're up to no good. Thank God we have many sheriff's officers that live in this area. So it's just a matter of going, hey, Tom, you want to swing by and check this guy out? Sure thing. Deacon, bloop, 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 light him up. So he walked out to the end of the road, and then took off or walked down the long and winding road. That's so long and winding road. So he walked, and I waited for about 15, 20 minutes, had to go to the store to get something. And sure enough, I see him on the highway. He's, about 1.5 miles down the road. I'm like, all right, well, this guy's got another probably 5-6 miles before he sees anybody. So good luck for him. But that's what happened. This story resonates in my mind. He could have just, because he had his hands in his pocket. I didn't know what he was going to do. Thank God we always carry a nice big old soft shotgun right there by the side door when people come up. All right, guys, stick around. When we come back, if you've got a nice fancy car like myself, do you find yourself attractive? Do other people find you attractive? Well, people say, nah, you got it's an extension of your penis and you got a small penis type deal. Well, they've actually done a study, and the results of those studies are of what people actually think about you with your nice fancy car. So stick around. We'll dive in that story when we come back. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. Welcome back to Deacon Live. You want something for free? Well, I'll give you something for free, but you got to do something for me. You have to go over to Prophet Radio, PROPHET radio.com, proud sponsors of Deacon Live, plus a whole bunch of other different podcasts that are broadcast out of this studio. You can see them right behind me if you're watching this on the YouTube video. Oh, I got to fix that light over there. It's not sticking out as much as it used to. So the owners are going to be pissed, so pissed at me. So I got to fix that as well. So if you want something for free, go over to prophetradio.com where it says free swag. Fill out that little form there, pick you out our little prize pack. We'll send it out to you. Get it in quick, and you can have your very own little stocking stuffers from Prophet Radio. Some magnets, some stickers, some keychains, and all that. So get yours now, just in time for the holiday season. Now, my wife, in 2016, we went out and bought, right off the lot, the brand new 2017 Audi Q5. We were going to get the Q7, but it's a little too big. It's more of a family car. And the Q3 was kind of like that, fresh out of medical school. It's a small car. It's a little bit of status to it. But we decided for the Q5. My wife likes it. She enjoys it. It rides real nice. It's an Audi. It's that German engineering and stuff. But one of the things that it has on it, and this is back in 2017, it has a navigation system in the vehicle. It comes with the vehicle. Now, where we lived at, they were working on some highways and stuff. Now, fast forward to 2023, which is now, they finished those highways. Unfortunately, the map on the car needs to be updated. It doesn't update automatically. And you're like going, well, what about, the Google Audio? Or is it Google? No, it's Android Audio where it connects to your phone, or the Google CarPlay, and that's available all over the place now. Well, unfortunately, GM right now is getting ready to get rid of those two and go with something different. And you ask yourself, why? Why? Why would they do this? Now, I just bought a brand new Chevy Silverado 2500 series. It's got all the bells and whistles on it, and it's got the Google or the Apple CarPlay. I don't know. I don't have an Apple phone. I'm an Android guy. And it does have the Android Audio. When I say audio, I should say auto, like automobile, not audio file type thing. But right now, and I said, great. And if I want to use, one of the things I said to the dealership guy, I'm like going, look, do I have to upgrade the maps? Because it does come with a navigation system in this truck. And he's like, no, if you've got, your smartphone or whatever, it hooks up right to it. And the screen on your smartphone shows up right on the screen on the truck. I'm like, all right, cool. But now General Motors is announcing its intention to remove Apple CarPlay and Android Auto functionality from its upcoming EVs, electric vehicles, earlier this year. And the internet comments and sensations have not been kind since then. As the first of many EVs to follow, the 2024 Chevy Blazer EV hits the market. General Mills is expanding on its initial explanation for dropping the tech. They spoke to Tim Babbitt, GM's head of production and infotainment. Oh, God. They're just cramming words together and making them up. Babbitt said they have stability issues. He's talking about CarPlay and the Android thing. They have stability issues and manifest themselves as bad connections, poor rendering, slow responses, and dropping connections. And when CarPlay and Android Auto have issues, drivers then pick up their phone. This is what he's saying. They're taking their eyes off the road and totally defeating the purpose of these phone mirroring programs. Solving these issues can come sometimes. Solving those issues can sometimes be beyond the control of the automaker. Babbitt suggests in a world of Apple CarPlay and Android Auto would be a safer one without it, as folks won't be looking to control their infotainment. It's not even a word. Via their phones. However, Babbitt tells Motor Trend magazine, the theory hasn't been tested in either lab or real world yet. So he's just pulling this shit out of his ass. He's not, we don't want them doing that. If everything fails, well, all right, Babbitt, how do we fix this? Well, I'll tell you how they fix it. Instead of using the navigation or music play app powered through your phone, the upcoming GM's EVs will include a Google-based infotainment system called... Oh, my phone, do you hear that beep? My phone went off. Sorry. So the upcoming GM EVs will use a Google-based infotainment system called Utilify. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. It's called Ultify, Ultifi, that runs a ton of integrated Google apps. Google Maps will be the native operation navigation system. You'll be able to log into your Spotify and other apps, upload your music, and so on and so forth. So what they're doing is they're saying, Apple CarPlay bad, Android Auto bad. Well, how do you fix that? We've got this new thing where it requires a service fee. I guarantee it's going to be like OnStar or something stupid like that. It's a service fee that we have to do, and it's called Ultify. What did I say before? Ulify? Ultify is what they're coming out with. So look around for that. You're going to start seeing maybe a pushback from Apple or Android based on that as well. Now, I've always had a new car. I've never bought. The last used car I bought was, I think, 99, somewhere around there, 99, 2001, somewhere. And I bought a 3-year-old Suburban. Other than that, I've always had brand new cars. And when I get a brand new car, I deck it out. Chrome, leather seats, all the stuff, all the bells, all the whistles. I've always wanted that. Now, do you say that's shallow of me to have? No, I like the stuff. I want that stuff. I think, I like a nice car. And I think driving a nice car, in some sense, gives you some kind of social stature as people look at you. Like if for example, a millionaire driving around in a piece of shit, and you're like going, well, why is he driving a piece of shit? Where's his money at? Oh, he's not a millionaire. He's got his money tied up in other stuff. And you look different. Tell me this is not true. That you look at people different based on what they're driving. Now, surveys and studies have shown that, when you see someone driving like a Lamborghini or Ferrari or something like that, you're like going, whatever, guy. It's such an impractical car. The cars that I've always bought have always been practical. They're useful. I can do stuff with them, but I also make sure that they're really, really nice. Now, a team of behavioral scientists in the Federal University of Rio Grande in Brazil has found via survey results that people view men who drive luxurious cars of having a higher mating value and other positive attributes. In the study, they conducted 2 surveys involving people driving expensive cars. Evidence of a long suggested that men who drive expensive cars attract women who are looking for a partner who can provide for them at a certain level of lifestyle. But such evidence has not been tested well in one form or another. In this new effort, the research team sought to find out how both men and women really feel about men who drive top-of-the-line vehicles and how the owners of such cars feel about themselves. To that end, they sent out 2 surveys. The first survey asked potential respondents about their opinion on luxury cars and the men who drive them, including feelings about the mating values of the male dominance and male domination. The team received 171 responses. 93 of them were women. To prevent bias, researchers use examples fabricated with fabricated people who didn't really exist in the survey. So here's Tom Jones, or Dick Jones, or whatever you want to call him, and this is his car. How do you feel about him? The second survey asked luxury car owner respondents questions regarding how they felt about themselves and their place in society, whether they thought they would make a better mate for someone who drove an ordinary car. Researchers received 409 responses, 206 of them which were from women. In analyzing the return surveys, research team found out the majority of the respondents, both male and female, viewed men driving luxury cars as having a higher mating value and social dominance, and were often seen as more competent in their lifestyle and their jobs. In some cases, and also more intelligent. I don't know. I've talked to some pretty lowbrow ding-dongs in those luxury cars. The survey results also showed that the respondents believed that they would benefit from personal and intimate relationships with such men. Researchers also found that people who drive luxury cars view themselves as having a higher social status and thus believe that they have more self-confidence than others. Most also rate themselves as having a higher mating value. So there you go. You drive a car, guess what? You're getting laid. You're getting laid no matter what. I mean, that's the way you look at it. I mean, I've seen YouTube videos and TikTok videos of a guy who's like, just a run-of-the-mill guy, asks this, whatever, gold digger girl on the side of the road, hey, do you want to go on a date with me? No? Okay, well, good luck in the future. And then he walks over to this like bright purple Lamborghini with gold trim, and the girl comes back over. I don't know if it's staged or not, but then she comes back and she's like, is this your car? Oh, I really don't have a boyfriend. I was just saying that to get creepers like you away from me. I can go out on the date with you. Sorry, you had your chance. See you later. Gotta go. Take off. Now, have you seen the new, what do they call it? The new Cybertruck. The Cybertruck, and everyone's been bashing it and stuff, and so I'm going to bash on it too. I'm going to jump on top of that dog pile. The Cybertruck looks like when 80s movies try to make movies from the 2000s, that are based in the 2000s. They think that this is what all the vehicles are going to look like. A prime example was Demolition Man. I think they took like the Ford Taurus and like put this exact same body style, it's all fiberglass and stuff, on the Taurus, the Ford Taurus, and then they said, look, that's what the future looks like. It's all square and boxy because that's what things are. Now, now's your chance. If you're not watching the video, go over to YouTube. You can see this video in real time as we're talking about it. A Tesla truck appears to have gotten stuck in an off-road trail. This video shows. So here's a video of the new Cybertruck. What is it? Is it a Tesla? I think it's a Tesla. And there's a Ford F-150 pulling it out. So let me switch cameras here. Let's go to 4. There we go. So here's the video of this guy. Now the truck looks like it was doing like it's out in the snowy field, and it looks like they were like getting their own Christmas tree type deal. So here we go. This is them getting stuck. Oh, those tires are spinning. And they got a Christmas tree strapped to the bed of the truck. Hey, look, it's a red truck hauling a Christmas tree. Hey, look, it's a cyber truck hauling a Christmas tree stuck in the snow. So here you go. There's a Ford F-150. Oh, that's like an excursion. So those trucks are, I'll play one more time. Those trucks are so light that there's no, do they have 4-wheel drive on them? Maybe they got a little ahead of themselves. So let me see. I'm going to play. Oh, it's going to go to Instagram. Let's play it one more time. Here we go. Oh, yeah. You're not going anywhere. I want that whole front of that truck to rip right off. That's pull the battery right out. Have it land right there in the snow. So there you go. All right. When we come back, how do you, let me switch cameras back to me. Back to me. How do you think you got blue eyes? You think it's from your mom? Do you think it's from your dad? Well, studies have shown there are another reason why you have blue eyes and why you have brown eyes. No, it's not because you're full of shit. And I'll dive into those details when we come back. Stick around. You listen to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Make sure you follow us on all your social networks, and the way you find ours is go over to Prophet Radio, PROPHET radio.com. At the top middle of the page, a little section says social contacts. Open that up, and you can see all the stuff that links us to you and you to us as well. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram. We're on all the different platforms over there. Too many to name and so many for you to join. Now, one thing I have been talking about, and I just got one just a few minutes ago on my phone, is that stupid highlights thing. And I couldn't figure out what the thing was when you do add highlights. So listen up, all you ding-dongs out there, all you dumbasses. I'm going to say it, you're dumbasses. I couldn't figure out what the scam was. I found out what the scam is. So what happens is they say, if you type highlight, you're supposed to see everyone that does that sees your profile or whatever. That's bullshit. What happens is the person who did the initial post at the very top that gets all you lowbrow waterheads to do the add highlights. Once they've got a list of, let's say 50 people, then they go in there and go, well, hey, we think you would benefit by going to, Alice Smith's page, and she can help you out with such and such, and then puts a link to Alice Smith's page. So what they're doing is they're creating this whole link database of all your names and all your pictures and all that stuff, and they'll put it right underneath everyone's picture or everyone's comment. They respond directly to you, so it comes right to your Facebook thing, and it says, make sure you click here. We think that you might know Alice Smith. And you click on Alice Smith, and then all of a sudden, boom, your information's gone and you're dead. You're laying out in the street, dead with your pants around your ankles. So don't do the highlights. And I had to cancel someone else out again. I was like going, you are a fucking moron. I always put, you're a fucking moron after that. Because if you're so dumb that you can't figure that out, I couldn't figure out what was going on. But if you didn't know it was a scam, end of rants. Okay, there you go. Now, this woman right here was pissed off as hell. As hell. My wife, I want to pull the stories yet. My wife, I had braces going into high school. And when I got my braces on, the orthodontist said, well, you'll have them off by senior pictures. Well, my mom was kind of lax on making the payments and stuff. So unless she made all the payments or was late on a payment or until the whole thing was paid in full, I had those braces on my teeth. And sure enough, here comes senior pictures. My mom hasn't paid the total bill yet. 4 years later, I had braces on. They were fine 2 years later after getting them put on. But so I had senior pictures with braces on. Thanks, Mom. Thanks a lot. But my wife, she had pretty good straight teeth. But one side of her jaw was kind of an underbite. She had one tooth that just kind of poked out, just trying to escape from underneath, the top row of teeth. She had one little tooth on her bottom jaw that kind of stuck out, and they've been rubbing together for years. And she, like most women, are self-conscious about how they look and what they look like. So she did the Invisalign thing. And it was covered by our insurance. And so she started getting those trays. If you don't know what Invisalign is, they do a laser scop of your mouth, and then they put it on the computer and they say, okay, they 3D print these trays, and here's, 8 weeks of trays. Every Thursday you got to put a new tray in, and every Thursday night she's popping them in. She's like, oh, this one's going to move a whole lot, and like the next day her jaw's hurting and her teeth are hurting from the movement and stuff. And then I think it's every 8 weeks, 4 weeks or something like that, she goes back to the dentist. She's just about done. I think she's got one more set of trays to do, and then she's good. Her teeth look really good. They're all moving around. She didn't have to have any pulled. I think she said she had 6 of them pulled when she was a kid. She had too many teeth in her mouth. There's a joke there somewhere, but anyways. But another company like Invisalign is this company called SmileDirectClub. Andre Gaines was running late for her appointment at the SmileDirectClub appointment on Monday. So she called from her car and let the receptionist know that she might be about 5 minutes late to her appointment when she heard an automatic voicemail saying the company has shut down and was no longer offering services. She assumed the phone number had been changed. So she received a confirmation email about 2 days beforehand, but she arrived at the office and saw that the doors were locked and the lights were off, and the items were scattered everywhere inside as if the workers left in a hurry. This is where things got worse. Gaines, who's 22 years old, lives in Palm Harbor, Florida, tried to log into her patient's portal. I was supposed to have records and everything, she says. My retainers, my 3D scan of my teeth, progress reports, and so on and so forth. There's nothing. I can't even have proof that I've ever had a smile. Never had, what does it say? Now I don't even have any proof that I've ever had my smile straightened. No other doctor is willing to help me without proof. So the only way I would take him the trays. This is my proof right here. So no doctor was willing to help me without proof. The only way that she could get help is if she started all over again, and I have to have my teeth straightened $4,000 or $5,000 or $6,000 to cover this. SmileDirectClub left me with no options. I'm freaking out a little bit, she says. Gaines, who's one of more than 2 million customers that have turned to SmileDirectClub in the past decade, seeking teeth aligners. That's what they're advertised as, a fast, cheaper way than braces. Like countless others, she has been left in the lurch after the company ceased operations last week after filing bankruptcy in September. The statement posted on the website says SmileDirectClub apologizes to the customers, saying it had to make an incredible, difficult decision to wind down its global operations effective immediately. Customer service will no longer be available, including its supposed lifetime smile guarantee, which proposed limited or unlimited customer service even after someone finishes their alignment treatment. That promise, Gaines says, is the reason why she picked the company in the first place. I was supposed to have 24/7 care, and that was taken away from me. In a statement, SmileDirectClub wrote to the customers on payment plans that were on payment plans, expected to continue to make monthly payments until payments have been made in full terms to our Smile Pay program. Despite receiving no longer care products behind the brand, the aligners were sold online and in store at about $1,800 a piece. Mike Tyson. $1,800 a piece, making SmileDirectClub an appealing choice for lower income and uninsured customers who might have been not able to afford braces, which cost anywhere from $3,000 to $10,000. So there you go. If you're part of that whole SmileDirectClub, they went belly up. They're gone. See you later. We're out of here. Take the money and run. Don't frown. Smile. I can't. You have my braces. You have my trays that I need for my teeth. It's kind of like the people that invested in, was it Sky Moon? They took the money and run. Those guys. Now, my whole entire life, growing up, I've had braces. No, I'm kidding. I've been told that I have green eyes. And then sometimes I'll look in the mirror and I'll be like, oh, my eyes are blue. No, my eyes are green. My eyes are blue. My eyes are green. I don't know. They fluctuate back and forth depending on the the cusp of the moon, of the Mercury retro regrade or whatever that's going on out there, and Mars being obliterated out there in space. But how do you get your eye colors? Well, people say, it's based on your mom and dad. And it's also based on how much hold on, I had the word a minute ago. Melanin, which is the pigment that causes like hair color, skin color, and all that stuff. So eyes are the window to the soul. While your eyes will bring you the world, I'm fucking skipping all this papyrus stuff. Your eye color is like a fingerprint. No one else in the world has the exact same eye color as you do. That's why they have those eye scans when, you know, in the movies and stuff. Eye color depends on the amount, type, and distribution of melanin, or pigment of the iris. Or pigment of the iris. Or, I'm going to say it again, or pigment in the iris of the eye. Blair Stevens, who is what is she? Blair Stevens, a clinical genetic counselor and director, I don't care what she is, but she's from the medical school at the University of Texas Health Center in Houston, Texas. Melanin production is determined by someone's genetic information, which is inherited from our parents. The eye color is a polygenetic trait, meaning several genes are involved in how your eye color turns out. To that end, some generic variants produce more melanin, which leads to a darker color, while other generic variants produce less melanin, which leads to a lighter color of eyes. People often wonder why newborn's eye color changes, and that's because the melanin production continues to develop through birth. Recessive traits are typically only expressed if someone inherits a recessive gene from both parents, whereas a dominant gene from one parent can mask and recess the trait from the other gene. Brown eyes is thought to be more dominant than the blue eye color, similar to like if you were going to mix paint. Although brown eye color is thought to be the dominant to blue, we emphasize that if we have two copies of each gene from one parent, the multiple genes are involved in determining the eye color. This means that there are many combinations of genes that children can inherit from their parents. Imagine watercolor pastel with some blue, green, and brown paint as the option. The eye color, hair color, and skin color are all affected by melanin, or pigment that is produced in our body. Our genes, dedicated to the type, structure, and amount of melanin that we produce, determines these colors. So there are basically several shades of eyes. There's amber, which is described as a copper, gold, or light brown, gray, blue, or gray. About 1 in 4 people in the United States have blue eyes. Brown eyes are the most common eye color in the world today, and about half of the people in the United States have brown eyes. I think my dad has brown eyes, and my mom has what she called hazel eyes. I have green eyes, which is the least common color. Only 9% of the world have green eyes. And hazel is a color combination between brown and green. Well, that would be it. My mom had hazel eyes. My dad had brown eyes, so I don't have hazel eyes. I've got green eyes. So there you go. In the United States, 18% of the people have hazel eyes. The inherent patterns determines the eye color and very complex. Stephen said that there are also, I'm going to get you, there are still much to be learned about genetics and eye coloring. The one thing that they did say, that eye color cannot be reliably predicted using genetic testing. So if you're trying to make that, what do they call them? Not gourmet babies, fashion babies, or whatever. What do they call those? Where, you know, you're trying to get the best genes out of you, or designer babies. That's what they are. I think Hitler tried to do that one time too. Didn't work out. But if you're trying to have a designer baby, they still can't get the eye color just right. There's too many variants in it. All right, guys. Variants? Loki? All right, guys, stick around. When we come back, one more little segment to get into, and we'll let you get back to enjoying the rest of your day. And guess what? Tomatoes are bad again. Yep, tomatoes are bad for you. Well, at least this brand is, and we'll find out what happened to them. Stick around. You listen to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. You want to be heard? Well, of course you do. We'd love to hear from you as well, and you can be podcast famous. You can be anonymous if you want. All you have to do is go to Prophet Radio, PROPHET radio.com. At the bottom of the page says Be Heard. Click on that. Speak right into whatever device you're listening to us on or at. It comes right into our inbox, and we'll play it on the very next podcast if you get it in soon enough, or the very next podcast as well. So if you want to say anything about us or anything going on, feel free. That's your platform to either yell at us, laugh at us, or just ask us anything that you want to do. That's over at profitradio.com. While you're over there, get yourself something for free over at the free swag section as well. Now, don't forget, we do have a video. If you get all the way to the end of this podcast and you're like, well, I'd like to see what goes on in the studio over there. Well, we have one over at YouTube. You can see that in real time, and all the behind the scenes stuff and all the video and stuff that goes on in between the little commercial breaks that you hear there. You can see those over there as well. Make sure you subscribe over there. It's not a money grab, believe me. It's just another. I'm messing with my camera here. I gotta fix my camera. Moved it around. It's just a little media source, another media source for you to enjoy the podcast at your free time. And it's all shot in 1080, and I think it looks good. We got a brand new studio here. They spent about 3 or 4 weeks renovating the studio, so you can see all the different stuff. You can go back to the old videos too and see what the old studio looked like. God, it looked like a frat room, frat party. Now, twins. I know, weirdos. Twins are weird, but in this study, they're actually beneficial. So what's happened is there's a lot of people out there that live the vegan lifestyle. Vegan lifestyle is basically you don't eat anything meat or meat related or animal related. So there's no cheese, no milk, anything that comes from an animal. It even goes as far as taking caplets, as far as pills. The clear gelatin caplets, yes, those come from hides of animals, whether it be cow or goats or anything like that. They boil them down, create gelatin, and they actually make those capsules. So a true vegan would not eat a caplet pill. So if you want to put them to the test, here, you got a headache, take one of these and hand them one that's got a caplet and one that's just a regular tablet and just see what they do. If they grab the other one, you just go, I gotcha. I gotcha. Point them at them and call them out for it. But there's a long-running debate whether meat-eating or meat-filled diets, or meat-free and meat-filled diets promotes better health, and new studies are giving weight to the benefits of a meat-free diet. Researchers at the Stanford examined the health of 22 sets of identical twin adults to see how they fared if one ate a vegan or animal product-free diet while the other one ate an omnivore or animal and plant-based diet over 2 months. Studies were published in November 30th, in the Journal of JAMA, J-A-M-A Network Open. Look specifically at the twins' cardiovascular health, including cholesterol levels, sugar levels, and insulin levels, and body weight. Nothing about their actual mental demeanor and all that. At the end of, what is it? What did they say, 3 months? Oh, for 2 months. Yeah, at the end of 2 months, if I have to just eat lettuce and all that stuff, I'd be, oh, but you're so much healthier. I want to kill somebody. Maybe that's what happened to the couple that got shot. After 8 weeks of following a respective diets, twin siblings who ate a vegan diet had the most weight loss, reduced their LDL, or the bad cholesterol, and experienced lower insulin levels, according to the study's findings. The findings in this trial suggested that healthier plant-based diet offers a significant protective cardiometabolic advantage compared with a healthier omnivore diet. Studies build on previous researchers showing that the plant-based diets are better than a non-plant-based diet when it comes to cardiovascular health. That's all it says. Cardiovascular health is the only way it benefits. According to the computer's model, a 20-year-old who went all in on a plant-based diet could at least add 10 years to their life at the end. If you're an 80-year-old and you start a plant-based diet, you could add 3 years to your life expectancy. What makes this Stanford study so different is that it uses twins who have the same genetic makeup and contributing factors, according to the study's author. Because identical twins have nearly the same identical DNA, they share the many same experiences, upbringing, geographic region growing up, and similar exposure to other variables. Reserved differences in health outcomes have after adaptations are different dietary patterns that can largely be attributed to the diet itself. A plant-based diet is a way of eating that consists mostly entirely of foods derived from plants, including vegetables, grains, nuts, seeds, legumes, and so on and so on. So plant-based diets typically consist of eating no animal foods that are different than vegan diets, which eliminates all animal foods and products. A vegetarian diet, which eliminates all meat, fish, and poultry, but still eats animal byproducts. Plant-based diets are often emphasized on whole food. So they said that, yeah, the plant-based diet is a lot better for you, just strictly cardiovascular. Now, what goes hand in hand with cardiovascular? Your weight's going to go down, your insulin levels go down. So it's the whole entire thing. Now, it is a lifestyle. Believe me, it is a lifestyle. But you know those people that go, oh, I can't eat that. I'm vegan. I can't eat that. You know, it's the people that make that a bad name. Now, I know that there are people out there who, if you make a sandwich for them, you know, you got bread, mayo. Is mayo vegan? I don't fucking know. Let's say you got vegan mayo. You got lettuce, cheese, whatever. And if the meat touches something, they won't eat that thing. There are people that go to that extremes. Now, there are people that choose to be vegan just because they're afraid or they're upset about the way that meat is produced. Now, I can understand that. A guy I used to work with used to eat chicken and meat all the time, and then he saw a video on how the chicken processing plants happen, and he said, no, bring the children around your smart speaker right now. Bring the children around, have them put the headphones on. He said the reason why he stopped eating chicken, he said that he saw these two guys, young guys, working in the chicken poultry plant, and they were kidding around and stuff, and these are workers there. The guy was sticking his thumb in the chicken's butthole, and he goes, that's it. I'm not eating chicken anymore. So it's the little things like that. I know. Everyone's like going, come on. But it's true. It's a true story. That's what he told me. He goes, the guy stuck a finger in the chicken's butt. He's like, that's it. I'm not eating chicken anymore. All right. So we understand that. But there's some truth to the matter as far as, you know, how we produce to get our meat. Researchers are published in the Journal of Natural Communications has just detailed that how much a positive impact cutting meat and dairy consumption out of your diet can have just on the environment. According to scientists, an author reported a substantial reduction in the global environmental impacts could achieve by 2050 if 50% of the main animal food products, pork, chicken, and beef, and milk were replaced by plant-based alternative. Now, believe me, I am a meat and potatoes guy, but I'd like to listen to the arguments as far as moving to a, plant-based diet and the benefits from that. Now, there's a video out on TikTok. I told my wife about it, where they talk about tofu. And tofu is one of the worst things you can eat, not because of what is actually in there, but what they actually do to clear a field for tofu beans. They literally nuke the area with chemicals, and then they nuke the area with pesticides and stuff, because there's like a titmouse that will go in there and eat the beans that make, or the whatever they're called, soybeans or whatever, that make tofu. So tofu itself, to get the tofu to your table, they eliminate a lot of plants, invasive plants that are out there in nature, and they eliminate 2 or 3 different types of species and bugs and little mice and little, whatever that's out there. They eliminate all that just so you can have something that's plant-based. So think about what you're eating out there. But what they do say is, because of the flagellants of the cows, if we just cut our meat production, yes, it would reduce the methane that cows release. So let me find where it actually says that. In a statement published by Eureka Alert, said that more needs to be done to reduce global pollution, and the study shows a path forward. Plant-based meats are not just a novel food product, but a critical opportunity to achieving food security and climate goals. We're achieving health and biodiversity objectives worldwide. Among other scientific among other benefits of scientifically cutting meat and dairy consumption, the study outlines that the water use would decline by 10% if you can, instead of continuing to rise by, having to feed and water the cow. Given the magnitude of the benefit, we show a substantial meat and we show from substituting meat with plant-based alternatives for global sustainability, climate action, human health. This researchers have proven important consumer food policymakers and so on and so forth. So there you go. They were saying that, if we as a nation, if we just cut out, what did I say, like one day a week, it'll reduce the methane gas and all that stuff. And then they were like going, well, let's make plant-based meat. Why can't we make meat-based plants? That's my question. I'm just throwing it out there. The yin and yang. But I'll tell you what, I can't remember the last time that we had a huge scare as far as meat production. Now, granted, there was mad cow disease. What was that, 20 years ago? But outside of that, you really don't hear anything about the contaminated meat or anything like that. Now, you do see some recalls here and there as far as soups and things like that, but that's not strictly don't eat ground meat because this has been tainted. Don't eat this. It's always a mixture of something. But you hear about don't eat lettuce from Guatemala. Don't eat this, baby spinach from here and there. They're having more problems with the leafy vegetables than we do with our meat byproducts and stuff. And here's a prime example. Tomato recall has dire warning if the issued products are being eaten. Here we go. A brand of sun-dried tomatoes has been slapped with a recall in the United States after inspections found some products containing sulfites, which can cause serious or life-threatening reactions among people who are sensitive to the chemical. All right, then don't eat sulfites. The 5-pound bag of Aviator sun-dried tomato halves, prepared by Global Veg Corp, distributed nationwide, weren't properly labeled, meaning the sulfites were undeclared on the packaging, making them a potential safety hazard. While sulfites can occur in some foods naturally, such as eggs or onions, and developed in wine and beer as a result of fermentation, the chemicals are sometimes added to preservatives during the process of products such as dried fruit, baked goods, and potato chips. While most people can consume sulfites without any problems, about 1 in 100 people suffer from some sulfite sensitivity, according to the Food and Drug Administration. So there you go. Another urgent recall. The FDA has flagged this company. What did I call them? Aviator sun-dried tomato halves. So there you go. There's another. Be careful. Don't eat the tomatoes. Don't put them on your hamburger. Don't put them on the side of your steak or anything like that. Don't eat them. You go ahead and eat the steak. That's safer for you, in my opinion. All right. Now, every good relationship needs a good roast to flirt ratio. And when I say that, sometimes my wife will say things about, I'll say something I'm so proud of, and then she'll give me a little chop down and say, but you did this. I'm like, oh man, why'd you have to say that? This wife's sweet and sassy prank on her appreciative husband has been met with a chorus of laughter online. So here we go. You can see this picture over on YouTube. So make sure you check us out over there on YouTube. Search DeaconLive Podcast. You can see this right here. So on December 5th in Portland, Oregon, a Reddit user by the name of Bobby posted an image of a celebratory cake his wife promised him, with a sarcastic message written on top. This image has quickly gone viral. My wife got me a cake, what I thought was a big accomplishment, Bobby captioned in the photo. A 3-layer cake speckled with rainbow sprinkles and frosting on top, with the words, "Nobody cares." One might be taken aback by such a rude phrase on the top of a supposedly celebratory cake and a dish from a dessert. Its form is a heartwarming backstory. So here's the backstory. I've been working on this website for 3 years or so. Bobby, who owns a printing company, tells USA Today, or today.com. Well, USA Today, same shit. Emphasizes that he's not a web developer and is proud of his coding victories along the way. Over years, while I was trying to build it, every time I completed a small thing like a button or something like that, I would show one of my employees, Bobby says. Eventually, I think they just got tired of hearing about me and showing them all these little small, tiny tasks and accomplishment. Hey, bud, have you ever heard of GoDaddy or Wix or anything like that? It's basically plug and play. So if you're physically doing the old school Commodore 64 typing code, you need to get with it, bud. Nobody cares. No wonder they made you a cake like that. At one point, one of his employees sarcastically replied with "nobody cares" at one of his many show and tells, quickly following up with words of support. I told my wife that story, and we both found it hilarious, Bobby says. That's just that kind of just became the mantra of me building this website over the past 3 years. Jesus Christ, you're going to go broke. Bobby's wife had picked him up a 3-layer cookies and cream cake from Sherwood, Oregon bakery, Hungry Hero. Cookies and cream. I'm going to have to ask my wife to make one of those. She better not put "who cares" on it. She put "jackass" on it. When I opened it up at the bakery, I laughed out loud immediately because it was absolutely perfect. Every relationship needs a good roast to flirt ratio. And a few commenters didn't see the joke, calling the cake harsh and not nice. Oh, give me a break, people. So Bobby wanted to emphasize that his wife has been extremely supportive throughout this whole entire thing. See, that's the thing. People see, a comment. Let me switch back to me now. Am I back to me? There we go. People see a little comment and they read the wrong thing into it, or they read something stupid into it. For example, there's a phrase out there that says, depending on how you emphasize the phrase, how you read it, it depends on how you interpret it. Like, I did not tell you to kill her, or I did not tell you to kill her, and I did not tell you to kill her. I did not tell you to kill her. I did not tell you to kill her, and I did not tell you. You can go on and on and on, but there's that whole spiral where when you get an email, one thing I learned many years ago, when you get an email, you've got to read it just verbatim of what it is, and don't put your emphasis on the wrong syllable. All right, guys. On that note, I'm going to let you get back to enjoying the rest of your day. Make sure you follow us on all your social networks, and the way you do that is go to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio. At the top of the page says social contacts. Make sure you follow us on YouTube. You can see this video in real time. If you got to the end of the podcast, you'd like to see everything that goes on here in the studio, you can do that over there at YouTube. Search DeaconLive Podcast as well. And if you would like to be heard, you can do that as well. And you can be anonymous if you want, pussy. Just throw that in there. All right, guys, on that note, I'm going to let you get back to enjoying the rest of your day. My name is the Deacon, saying good night and good night.
Wait, come back.
This is the absolute end.
You're not going to listen to the whole show. I know you won't. I know you won't. Because you're a pussy. Little bastard dad kid. All right, bye.